How to make a website with the 2020 theme from WordPress. That's what we're going to do in this tutorial video. What's up everybody, my name is David, Website Creative Pro. So the 2020 theme is a free theme from the team behind WordPress, and I'm going to show you how to create an awesome looking website from step 1 to step done using this free theme. Now the services we're going to be using in this tutorial video are Namecheap as our domain name registrar, then we're going to be getting a hosting account from Bluehost, then we'll set up WordPress and design our website. Now, like always, make sure to check the links in the description for timestamps as well as services recommended in this tutorial video. Anyways, if you're ready, let's begin. Welcome to Namecheap.com. Now, Namecheap is my preferred domain name registrar of choice, but you may be more familiar with GoDaddy, and GoDaddy is a very good company. They provide a lot of good services, but for strictly domain name registration, Namecheap has the much better prices, and to get started is very simple. You just go to the search box and type in the domain name that you want to register, and that's it. So let's go ahead and do that. So my super amazing blog.com. Let's just take a quick look to see if it's available. Okay, and then it comes up and says, yep, this is available, and we can go ahead and add it to our cart. Now, I strongly suggest going with a .com for your website, at least a .com, .net, .org, or .co, as those are top level domain names, and I would ignore random extensions like .club, .best, etc. Anyways, all you do is click add to cart, then we can view item, and then we go to checkout. And there we go. And now we can register a domain name for 1 year at a time or up to 9 years in advance to lock in that nice low price. We have WhoisGuard for free, and that's basically it. And now we can just go ahead and confirm order, and that will involve you creating a Namecheap account as well as submitting your payment, and that's it. Welcome to Bluehost.com. Now, Bluehost is the #1 recommended web host by WordPress, and they are the web host that I suggest going with in this tutorial. Now, Bluehost, you get a free SSL certificate included. What that means is that your website will be secure. See this little check mark next to Bluehost, and so that is a ranking factor for websites in terms of the eyes of search engines like Google, and you also get a one-click install of WordPress and 24/7 support. Now, I know it says free domain name for the first year, but guys, free is not free. It's free for the first year, but then you're going to be paying an inflated price year after year, so it's much cheaper to go with Namecheap long term. Now, to get started is very simple. You just click on the green Get Started button. And now this will open up into basically their shared hosting plan. So a shared hosting plan is basically a small piece of an industrial strength server, and you're just renting a very, very tiny piece of a server. Now, I recommend going with the Choice Plus or Plus plan. Basically, these plans provide enough resources to allow your website to grow to 1,000 visitors a day, 2,000 visitors a day, that type of deal. Basic is too limited because you can only have one website, and Pro is just too excessive because we have a new website, we don't have any content, we don't have any traffic, so Pro is for established websites. So what's ideal for us is Choice Plus or Plus plan. Anyways, I'm going to go with Choice Plus, so we'll click on the green select button. And now here you can enter in a new domain name or use a domain name you own. Do not create a new domain name because this is going to register a domain name through Bluehost, which we don't want to do. We already registered a domain name at Namecheap, so just put in the domain name that you registered at Namecheap here. So I'll type in my super amazing blog, click on next. And there you go. So then just fill out your account information as required, and then package information is where you want to pay attention to. Bluehost offers yearly plans, so 12, 24, or 36, and you get a really nice discount the longer you sign up for. I would recommend personally to register for a 2-month plan because it usually takes about 2 years to really grow a website, and then after 2 years you can reevaluate the growth of your website. And come down here, we don't need site lock security, and then that's it. And so this is how much for 2 years of hosting. You get 30-day money back guarantee if you're not happy with anything for any reason, and that's it. So come down here, submit payment information, click I have read and acknowledge Bluehost's terms of service, etc. And that's it. And so submit everything, and then Bluehost will have an onboarding process that you can follow through. Bluehost.com. So after you go through the onboarding process, which I suggest you just click on skip each step, you'll get to this area, which is your dashboard for your hosting account. Now you may notice that your domain name is not coming up properly. It probably says like temporary box something. That's because you still have to set the name servers at Namecheap to point to your hosting account. So let's get to it. Okay, so you have your hosting account, you have your domain name. What do you do next? The next thing to do is set up Nameservers. It takes like 5 minutes. It's just a quick copy and paste job, and I'm going to show you how it's done right now. Setting up Nameservers is quick and easy. Now, this is the welcome email that you should get from Bluehost upon purchasing a web hosting plan. Now, this is the primary domain name that is associated with the account, and this will be basically the domain name that you use when you are signing up for Bluehost. Now, when you're in your dashboard for Bluehost, you're looking at something like this, like box, temporary domains, etc. You're like, how do I get my domain name to appear? The reason is you gotta just set up Nameservers. So it's quick and easy. So just go to Namecheap, go to domain list, go to manage, and then under your domain, you wanna scroll down to where it says Nameservers. Now here you have, it should say Namecheap basic DNS. You wanna make sure to go and select custom DNS. Then all you do is put in the name servers, which is NS1 Bluehost and NS2 Bluehost, into your name server section within your domain, and then click on the check mark to save. And now it will say that it could take up to 40 hours to take effect. I have never seen it take 48 hours. Usually takes 20 minutes or so. So go make a cup of coffee, come back, log into Bluehost, and everything should propagate correctly, and your domain name should be appearing within your account as expected. So anyways, that is it for Nameservers. Let's install WordPress. So installation of WordPress is very easy with Bluehost. We just go to My Sites, and then you go to Create Site, and here is where we can select a site name and site tagline. This is not important. We can change this later once we're logged into WordPress, so we'll just put anything. I'll just put in my website, and tagline, I'll just keep it as tagline. What's more important is to click this advanced tab. Now the email address you put in here will be your recovery email, just in case you ever forget your username or password for your website. It'll be sent to this email address. WordPress admin username, pick something that you will remember. So let me go ahead and do that. And last is set a password to log into your website on the back end. And there we go. Now we just click on next. And it says plugins here. We do not need any of these plugins, and we want to install it on the root domain name, which is this. We don't need to add anything to the directory. So to go ahead and click next. And WordPress is installing. Okay, so you should get to this screen where it says WordPress installed successfully. So your website should have WordPress installed on it. The admin location for the website is wp-admin. This is the URL that you'll go to log into your website. So anyways, to log into the website right now, we can just click this button where it says log into WordPress. And that's it. Welcome to WordPress. You've just successfully created a website. It's that quick and easy. Now, let me just log out of this really quick, and just to show you what it looks like when you're at wp-admin. So when you go to your website /wp-admin, you'll be looking at a screen like this, and this is where you enter in your username or email and then your password to log into your website. So for future reference, whenever you want to log into your website, you just go to wp-admin and then enter in your username or email and your password. Okay, so just to give you a heads up, this is the site we're going to be designing. I'm going to show you how to create this gorgeous homepage with this nice background image, a welcome message, how to add related blog posts, and to customize the footer. I'm going to show you how to set up the blog post page so it looks nice and very functional, and then how to customize these specific pages themselves, how to add breadcrumbs, how to add this nice feature image, and then how to add an email opt-in form, as well as editing the menu in the header, and as well as the menu in the footer, as well as all the little back-end details that you just wouldn't know about when creating a website. So if you're ready, let's get to it. Security and backend settings, let's get to it. So step one is to go to where it says users in your menu and click on it. Okay, so now you should have one administrator account, okay? And so this one administrator account means that this is the admin account for the entire website. And this account has full access to the website. So instead, when you publish content, you want to go ahead and make sure to create an editor account. And an editor account basically is just for publishing content. So what I mean is, like, if we just take a look at the home page of the website, and I scroll over the by this, now in the down here it says the author name, and so someone could take this information and basically use it to help kind of crack into the site a little bit. Now that's a worst case scenario, but it would be better if you could just publish everything under an editor account, because if anyone is able to get the basically the username here, then they could brute force attack the back end of the site to get in. Now again, that's like an extreme scenario, but you know, it's just one little thing to add security. So you want to go ahead and just create a new account. So you have to give it a new username. So it could be anything you want. Okay, so I can just create a new username, and it has to be a different email address as well. Okay, and let me just delete my name. Okay, so you have to create a different username and a different email address. And then you want to go down here and you want to change it to editor. Okay. And that is it. And so now we can show password, and then you can go ahead and create some really strong password of your choosing. I'll just keep this. So we'll just go to hide, and then I'll click add new user. Okay, and so now this is an editor account. Okay, and so when I go into, we'll say posts right here, we have one post and it's by the author here. And so if I go to like quick edit, I can change this. Instead of it being the author being my admin account, I can just change it to the editor account. Okay, and so we'll just click on update. And so to do that in the actual blog post itself, let me just open this up just quickly. So let me go ahead and open up the Hello World blog post. So you just want to make sure that whenever you publish content, just go in here and make sure the author is selected as your editor account, not your admin account, because it just adds a nice layer of security just in case, just worst case scenario, someone breaks into your website and they break in with the editor account. They can't do anything. They can basically like publish content or delete content that's about like literally your blog post. Then you can just do a backup from your like web post. Again, extreme. That's an extreme case. Okay, so once you have that set up, now you want to go over to settings, and then you want to go to where it says permalinks. And with permalinks, now most suggest post name, but I personally like the custom structure of /blog. Okay, so /blog /post name. This just gives a nice site architecture to your whole website where all the blog posts are under the blog. It allows you to have pages that can redirect to basically affiliate links. You know, it just gives nice structure and it just looks clean. So if you just take a quick look, if we take a quick look at like domain names, website creative pro, and so if we just take a quick look at this, now like I use this structure on websitecreativepro.com, so we have blog, domain names, and it just looks clean. It looks very nice and organized, and that's also why it provides a good structure for search engines, provides a nice user experience for visitors because like they know exactly where they're going to be, and it's just nice. If we take a look at this, like garage, great, domains for creative business, like it looks terrible. Okay, like this looks so much better, and so that's why I personally like blog. But if you want to have an option, I would say go with post name or go with blog /post name. Do not go with dates. Dates is for time sensitive content. Okay, so that would mean like if you have a news website, etc. You could also put categories into the post as well, but that would only be for like a really massive website, like if we're talking about like the penny hoarder, you know, this website. You know, like when this website was launched, it was just a single man blog, and they were basically publishing content under the post name. But again, it's like they have multiple authors, so they started just using the category structure, so where all their posts are structured like this. So if we go open this, and so it's like the penny hoarder, bank accounts, bank assistant. So everything's organized under the category. This is only for like really, really large websites. Okay, so that's basically the URL structures I recommend. Okay, so dates are for a news-oriented website where your time-sensitive content. You know, post name is ideal if it's just a tiny website of like the website's going to be max 15 pages. That's not what we're doing. We're going to be, you know, I'm assuming you want to create a website with multiple pages, multiple categories. So go ahead and put everything under the blog. But again, it's your website, it's up to you, but I'm just letting you know the thought process that goes into these decisions. Delete themes, delete demo content, delete plugins. Let's get to it. So right now I navigate over to appearance and then themes. Now with this installation of WordPress, you will have multiple themes installed. All of these themes are created by the team behind WordPress. They come out with the theme every year, 2016, 17, 19, 20. There's actually a lot earlier ones too. There's 2015, 2014, but they're now dated, so they don't really add them, but these are still added. Anyways, for security reasons, again, we want to just go ahead and delete themes that we're not going to be using. So whenever theme you decide to use, which is for the 2020 theme in this tutorial, you should always just go ahead and delete any other theme. You don't want to have 2 or more themes installed, just because like if there's a security issue in some other theme that you happen to have installed, it makes your site vulnerable. Again, like these are always worst case scenarios, but again, that's why you're watching this tutorial video, because you want a pro to tell you what to do. So just go ahead and delete all this stuff. And then we just want to have one theme installed. There we go. Okay, now we want to navigate over to plugins. And plugins, depending on your web host, you're going to get a bunch of plugins installed. So I definitely recommend, we don't have to have this Bluehost installed. And so right now we can go ahead and Hello Dolly and the Mojo Marketplace. So if you deactivate Bluehost, it becomes Mojo Marketplace. We can just go ahead and delete these and apply and click OK. And now we have Jetpack and Akismet. We'll just leave these for now. We'll touch on this a little bit later. Alright, so now for demo content. So let me go ahead and click on dashboard, because now that you uninstalled the Bluehost plugin, now you have the standard installation of WordPress. Now, one quirky thing about this theme is that it sometimes installs demo content, so you have to double check this. Okay, so right now what I did was that I clicked on customize, and now the customizer loads and the site loads correctly. But sometimes you'll have demo content. Sometimes like the website will all of a sudden change and be like, whoa, what is this? So all you have to do is don't publish, don't hit anything, just click X and then go back, open up again, and then click on customize again, and then this theme, this style will just save as is. Now if you did happen to publish it, all you have to do is basically go into your pages here and go ahead and delete all the demo content that was installed. So just letting you know right now, to continue with this tutorial, right now we only have a sample page and we have the privacy page here, and then under posts, the only posts we have is one hello world. Okay, and so that's basically where we're starting from with regards to designing our site. Okay, so if you're following along, that's where we're at right now. So again, posts, we only have hello world. Pages, we only have 2 pages installed: privacy policy, sample page, which just came with the installation. Okay, so again, if you have any other pages like this, or you have demo content with sub, go ahead and delete it, because I'm going to walk you through how to design the website properly. Let's install Breadcrumbs. So what the heck are Breadcrumbs? As I said earlier, this section right at the top of the website is called Breadcrumbs. Now breadcrumbs are very helpful for visitors, because now someone who visits the website, if they find this specific page, they know exactly where they are. It provides deep linking to your specific category pages, your blog posts, as well as just providing a nice structure for the way your website will be appearing in the search engines. And it just works well overall for providing a good user experience and a good site architecture. Now, to get started, we have to first go back into our website, and you want to go to plugins, and we're going to be adding our first plugin. So click on add new, and now you want to type in Yoast SEO. Okay, and Yoast SEO is an SEO plugin. SEO means search engine optimization. It allows you to basically optimize your pages, your blog posts, and your website as a whole to rank better in search engines. It's not like a magical thing, but it just gives you the tools and the control over your website on the back end. Okay, so now that Yoast is installed correctly, we want to click on SEO in our WordPress dashboard. So now you have a little icon right here that says SEO. Go ahead and click on it. Now you want to go to search appearance, and you want to click on the tab where it says breadcrumbs. And now you want to make sure breadcrumbs are enabled. So it may say disabled for you, just click on enabled. Okay, and now we want to come down here, and we want to make sure that the last page is bolded. So this page is last page is bolded, which is how we have it. And then post, yours probably says none, and you want to go ahead and select category, okay? Because this is the category of the site where this blog post is under. And so I like to add the category to the specific page within the breadcrumb, okay? And so go to category and then click on save changes. And there we go. All right, so now we open up the site and let's open up our blog post. Okay, so now it's blog, hello world, and you're like, well, where's the breadcrumbs? That's only part one. You have to turn it on and make it available. Step two is to actually add breadcrumbs, okay? And so there's a couple different ways. So if you do something, if you search for something like Yoast, SEO, breadcrumbs, okay, if you do this, then we come to this page. Now, Yoast has their own tutorial. It's fairly complicated. I think it's a bit wordy, but basically you have to take this function right here, and you can take this and then you can jump in to where it says appearance, and then you go to editor, theme editor. And then within the theme editor, okay, I understand, you want to find something that says single PHP, something like that, like singular PHP. That means that this is basically the template for all our blog posts. And then right here under where it says main ID site content, right there is where you can copy and paste in this code, and then breadcrumbs will appear as appropriate on your website. Now I know a lot of you are like, oh, I don't want to do this. I don't want to mess with this code. Is there another way to do it? Absolutely. So we can go back to plugins, and within plugins we can go to add new. And now we just want to look for something like PYRC. PYRC. Oops. PRYC. There we go. Sorry guys. PR. I always get that confused. PRYC. Now what you want to do is you want to find where it says add custom content to post in page. It should be the first one, but make sure to select this one, because this has all the same logos, so it's very easy to just not be paying attention. You want to install this because this allows you to add content to the top and bottom of your blog post quickly and easily. So just go ahead and install and activate it. And so what this allows you to do is it allows you to add content to all your blog posts at the top or bottom with ease. Now we want to go back into settings, and then you want to go to PRYCWP, add content. Okay, so now we have the content at the top. Now what we want to do is we need some shortcodes. So the shortcode is WPSEO _breadcrumb, and it's in brackets. Okay, so this is the short code, and what short code is that it makes basically the breadcrumbs appear. So let's click save changes, and there we go. So this is content top, and then we have the breadcrumb short code in there, and then let's reload our page. And there we go. So now breadcrumbs are appearing as expected, but you're like, well, this is off to the left. Why I want it in the middle? No problem, guy, I got you. So basically you have to use the center tag, okay? So this is what you have to do. It's a little bit of HTML, it's not complicated. It's just called a center tag, okay? And make sure to close the tag. Make sure to close it. All right, so and then we can click on save changes. And let's open it up again, and there we go. Now it's centered. Now if you want to make the text a little bit smaller than the rest of the content, you can also do that as well. So you can just add another tag, and the tag is called small, literally called small. And then same process, make sure to close the tag, okay? And there you go. So that's it. I have small, center, and then I have the breadcrumb right in the middle. Let's go ahead and save changes, and let's reload it. And now breadcrumbs has been shrunk, it's right in the center, and we are good to go with breadcrumbs. So there you go, you've successfully installed breadcrumbs. So now after this, let's nerd out and edit our blog post. Blog post design, so let's get this done. So there's quite a few things that we need to take care of for this. I went ahead and just installed some demo content, some demo text. All right, so first off, let's get rid of this horrible beige, so ugly. So let's click on customize. All right, so now you can come down here where it says colors, and you have background color, and it's this horrible, ugly, terrible beige. Select white, click on publish. It looks a million times better. All right, let's click X. All right, so that gets rid of the beige, okay? And now the next thing we need to do is like, well, we got breadcrumbs here, but do I really need to have the category again up there? And what about this stuff? Do I really want to have this content here where you have the date and comment and the username for the website, like by the username? No, I would prefer personally to hide this information. Okay, so how do we do that? How do we get rid of this and how do we get rid of this? It's very simple. You just have to add in a little bit of CSS. So it's not that complicated. On a side note, see how it says like DP, UTKE? Basically, if you just ever want to change that, you just go into appearance, or so you go to your users and open up your users. And then you go into the user tab. And then right down here, if you want to select like a different nickname, if I want it to appear as David instead of the login, you can just do that. And then here is where it has a biographical. This is the my bio. This is the bio. And so, you know, like you see on some websites where at the bottom, like for example, on Website Creator Pro, if we come down here to the very bottom, we have a little picture of me and then a little bio. It's basically controlled by this, okay? And so right now, it's like I changed the nickname to my actual name. I have the bio, so you can fill out this bio right there. And then this is the profile picture is generated by something called Gravatar, okay? And so what Gravatar is globally recognized avatars. So you can just sign up to WordPress and then you associate an email with an image. It's very, very simple. I'm not going to walk you through it. It's intuitive enough where you can figure it out. It's not rocket science. But basically that's it. And so if you want to go ahead and do that, you can do that on your own, okay? But it'll come up like this. We'll have a little picture and then you have a little bio. That's all controlled under users. And then you come into your users and then you edit it. Okay, and so I selected my name to show as a nickname and display name publicly as David, okay? Let me just click on update user. All right, so let's go back to our blog post. Let me reload it. And so now it says David instead of that weird whatever it is, but I still want to hide it. I don't want this, so let's go ahead and go to customize. And then we want to come down here and go to additional CSS. Okay, and this is where we want to add in. So what we want to do is we want to add in post meta display none. Okay, so post meta display none, copy, paste that in, and that should delete it. Okay, so that section is called your post meta, and we just setting it in CSS to display none. Okay, and now we still have the category up top there, and so basically we need to get rid of the category. So basically it's entry, categories inner. So that's what this is actually called, entry category inner. And so we want to display none for that as well. So let's just go ahead and copy and paste that in. And then that's it. And so there we go. That's how we kind of remove that. And now we just have the nice page title right there. Let's go ahead and click on publish. And that is looking good. So, all right, so let's go back. All right, so now we have the page title, we have a little bio at the bottom. So let's go to site identity. Site identity is where you can change the name of your website. So if we want to just call it, like I'll call this my name tagline. I don't want a tagline personally, so I'm just going to leave that blank. I'll just type in my full name and we'll just leave it like that, okay? And now we have different theme options where we can have archive pages show full text or a summary. We want the blog to show a summary, okay? So that means like if you have multiple posts, you don't want your post page to show a full text of all your blog posts because it creates a super long page. So we just want to create a nice short page. And then show author bio. Again, that's up to you if you want to have a bio there, but we can just click that off if you don't want to show a bio. So I'm going to leave that off. I don't really want to show a bio. And let's click on publish. All right, so let's go ahead and X out of that. Okay, so now this is looking quite nice, and a couple little things we can do. So first off, you can add an image to your blog post. So let's just go back to, let's get out of that. So let me just reload this. Okay, so first thing that you want to pay attention to is a couple little things. So we can set a feature image. And so a feature image is basically an image that's going to be associated with the blog post. For example, if we take a look at like websitecreatorpro.com, these are all feature images associated with the blog post. But as we open the post up, you're not going to see an image. So like see that I don't add an image here. I purposely do that as intentional because I don't like to have images other than for as a feature image or to display something specific. But anyways, to add a feature image, and you should add a feature image, is to just go into your blog post and go here and set feature image. Now, what I personally recommend doing is using something like Canva, and then using a template. Like I use YouTube thumbnail template all the time, and then just create all your images and use the same exact template, so all your images are the same exact size. Okay, and so I went ahead and already downloaded these images. Okay, and so these images are right here. So let's just open this up, and I'll just Microsoft Picture Manager. So this is a massive image. I don't need this image I took from Taipei, Taiwan to be this big. So I'm just going to go in here and reduce the size to say 50. All right, so that looks a lot more manageable, and I'll click on save. Okay, and then I'll go to this one and I'll do the same process again. And so go Office Picture Manager, I'll go to Edit Picture, Resize, and I don't need it to be this big massive image. I'll reduce it by 50%. That looks good. Click on save. Okay, so now these images are ready to go because we want small images. We don't want to be loading up big images that slow down our website. Now, the first thing we need to do is install a plugin. So let's go to plugins, and we want to install a plugin called Smush It. And what Smush It does is that it automatically optimizes images. Smush It. So what this does is, like when you upload an image to your website via WordPress, it will automatically compress the image and make it a more efficient file size, so it takes up less space on your hosting account. It loads more quickly for the end user. Google's happy, users are happy, you're happy because it's taking up less space, and it doesn't reduce any type of image quality as well. So just install Smush, then activate it, and there you go. And so let's just jump back into our post, and I'm going to go back into my Hello World post, and let's just add a feature image. Okay, so let's go ahead and click this, set feature image, and now make sure to give your images a specific title. Okay, so I'm going to call this Taipei. Okay, and we'll just drag and drop that in there. Okay. Now, once we have this image installed, smushing in progress. So basically it reduced the image size and compressed it by 7.4%. So that's great. Now the alt text there, what should you put? Leave it empty if it's just for decorations purposes. If it's demonstrating something, then best explain what it's demonstrating. Okay. So I usually like to just describe what the image is. Okay. So this Taipei square. Okay. Whatever. Then we'll click on set feature image. Okay, so now we've successfully set a feature image, and that is it. So now we need to take care of categories. So uncategorized, that's terrible. Like, you want to add categories to your site that are keyword focused and are related to what your website is about. Okay, so if you're starting a travel blog, if you're starting a blog about a specific sports, or if you're like outdoor sports or indoor activities or whatever the heck your website is about, you want to pick categories. Like I would say start with like 3 or 4 that are related to what your website's about and that are very broad. And so like a category like ideal would be like travel. Okay, I call this one travel tips. Okay, and you just want to go ahead and add a new category. Let's go ahead and add a new category. There we go. And then unselect uncategorized. And then we're going to delete this later. We don't really need something called uncategorized. Okay, so that's it for categories. And now tags are basically ways, like if you create a unique post that's unique for the rest of the website that's about a very specific topic, then you can tag it as something. I normally don't use tags. I don't find them that helpful. They just end up creating a lot of redundant pages for search engines. I really just stick to categories primarily. All right, so now we have our blog post, we have our feature image. Now one other little thing to pay attention to is because we installed the Yoast SEO plugin, we have this area down here to edit our blog posts as we want. Here is where you want to pay attention to your SEO. So you want to make sure that you have a keyword focused title. So keyword focused blog post title. Writing titles is an art form. You want to incorporate your keywords, but you also want to make sure it's something clickable that people will be interested in watching. And then if there's space, you always want to have a separator and then the name of the website. And that's basically how you want to kind of structure And then you see this orange bar. It's kind of just giving you a rule of thumb, so to speak, about how to best structure a blog post. And then your meta description is basically, you can change the text right here to basically describe the blog post to a potential search engine visitor. So like if you were able to get this post on the first page of Google and it comes up, what's it going to say? You should incorporate phrases that people are looking for that are related to the blog post. So for example, if I was talking about like Taipei travel, for example, we can just type in like Taiwan travel, okay, Taiwan travel, and see like what are people kind of looking for. And so it's like, since I typed in Taiwan and I typed in travel, if we take a look, like Taiwan, 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 and then Taiwan, Taiwan, and then travel, Taiwan, travel. Like, you know, that's why the meta description is important, because like this meta description, if it has the keyword phrase that a user typed in, it helps rank the piece of content for this specific phrase. So anyways, let's just type in like, all right, amazing, amazing things to do in Taiwan, whatever. Okay, amazing things to do in Taiwan. You should definitely take the time to write out a thorough description, and that is it. And then readability right here. Readability just gives you ideas about how to better improve your content. Okay, so just like, again, like this rule of thumb, this is not like it has to be green, but this is just telling you things to do and things to change. All right, so now for the actual blog post itself. Now, what's really cool about the 2020 theme is that, first off, if you click a block right here, it has this text setting over here. So we can go ahead and make this larger, and then I can come in here and make this large, and then I can just make this regular. And I could also add in a drop cap if I really want to for this part right here. And so now if we go to update the post. Okay, so now let's just take a quick look at the blog post. Okay, so now we have a nice clear title. We have a nice lovely image right above it, breadcrumbs. We have big text that grabs our attention, helps us like pay attention to the content, then the text gets smaller. And this is why I like the 2020 theme, because it's like the layout is really nice. A singular column I really like. I think it looks really nice on mobile devices. It looks great on desktop. The goal of a website is to get people to read. When you have people's attention, they click on things, they subscribe, they do what you want. So you don't want to have a bunch of distractions. So this looks fantastic, okay? And so now one little thing is just make sure your URL right there, you can click on edit the URL as you want. So I'm just going to leave it as hello world, but like, again, keep your URLs short and sweet, okay? So for example, if we come down here, like hosting or review, how good is this budget friendly web host, or the like 10 best domain name registers for whatever. So like instead of me titling this page like blog slash the dash 10 dash best domain registers for then the year, I just keep it as short and sweet and just like best domain name registrars. And you want to do the same thing with your URL structures, okay? So basically that is it for the blog post section, okay? So we have a nice title here. Make sure it's keyword focused. I told you how to structure the URL. I showed you how to add breadcrumbs. I showed you how to kind of lay out this and how to like pay attention to the image. I showed you a plugin that optimizes your images, and that is it. So right now you should be all set with the blog post, and go ahead and create like a few categories related to what your website is about. Make sure to pay attention to how your blog posts look in search engines. Basically for blog posts, you want to go with the keyword first, and then you want to go with the site title after that. Make sure to fill out a good meta description that incorporates keywords and phrases that people are actually using, and also is accurate and describes the post as best you can. So anyways, that's it for the blog post section. Menus. So menus are basically what this is called. It's called people refer to it as like the navigation, whatever. With WordPress, it's referred to as your menu. So this is your menu, and oftentimes most themes usually have some type of header menu, and then they also have a footer menu. So the footer is this area right down here, and so you can have a menu down here. Now to change menus is very easy. You just go into appearance, and then you click on where it says menus, okay? Okay, so now I've gone ahead and already created a menu. You may have absolutely nothing, so just go ahead and create a menu, call it navigation, whatever you want, and then say create menu. Okay, and now this is the menu right here. Now here is where I can select different pages that I've created. So far I don't have any pages really to add. We only have one sample page, so I can just go ahead and add that, for example, to the menu. Okay, so this is my sample page. So I can call this, like, I'll just call this example, just so to demonstrate it to you. Okay, and now let's go ahead and click on Save Menu. And so right now I have one menu created. Now if you click on the tab where it says Manage Locations, right here is where you can change what menu is activated for what. So when people are under desktop, expanded, horizontal, mobile, footer, menu, social menu, basically you have a lot of different options with this theme. So what you want to do is just from the drop down, select the menu you just created. So desktop, horizontal, I'll just click select menu, mobile, menu. I'll just select menu, and I'll just leave it as that and click on Save Changes. Okay. Okay, so now let's just go ahead and let's reload this. And as you've seen, it just changed to example. Okay, so now if I click on Customize right here, now if we navigate over to where it says Menus, we can say View All Locations, and you can also change menus from here as you want. Okay, so right now I can just come down here and select different menus as you want, and this is basically it, how you can also change the menu and the way things function right there. And so this is basically your mobile menu that as it pops up, and this is your menu over here that you can quickly add from the edit menu location. Now I know some of you will ask, well, which menu should I go? How do I get rid of this menu if I don't want it, etc. Personally, I like to have this menu on my website. I don't like to have these type of expanded menus, and I also like to keep my menus very short and sweet on any website I create. Like, I literally have at max 5 items to click on, max. You know, I really keep things minimalistic as best I can, and I suggest you do the same. So anyways, if you want to get rid of this this right here, because we don't need this to appear when we're on our desktop. This will appear when someone's on their phone, and then this will hide, and it will hide into this and come up here, which looks great, that's fine, but like we don't need it when someone's on their laptop or a tablet or their desktop. So just go to Customize again, and now under Customize you just go again back to Menus, and right here you have to click on this thing right here. There you go. Okay, so that's where you can adjust things. And so like we have mobile menu current. No, we don't need to be showing the mobile menu when people are not actually on the site. And so I want to just show like desktop horizontal, desktop expanded, and so we just want desktop horizontal. And there you go. And that's it. And then I would keep the search function there, and then click on publish. But anyways, if you want to have specific control over your menu, you can play around with this. Again, you just come into Customize, then you just click on this menu button right here, then you can adjust how it looks and appears at the top. And that is basically it for menus. Okay, so I went ahead and added another blog post. So right now I have 2 blog posts, and now how do you add a dedicated homepage to this site? Now this looks alright, and the reason why you're able to see just an excerpt and not the whole page is, again, remember, Customize. Always in the Customize. Then you go to Theme Options and make sure it says Summary. Okay, so if it says full text, it's going to be full text. It's going to be way too long. You just want it as a summary. Okay, so you want to have your blog post be a summary. Now, in order to make a dedicated homepage, it's very simple. We have to start with our pages. So go into your pages and go ahead and click on Add New. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and title this the home page, and just click publish. Just call it home, click on publish. This will make sense in just a bit. Just go ahead and do this. So now I have one page called home, and then I'm going to create a new page, and I'm going to call it blog. So let's just go ahead and call this the blog page. Click on publish. There we go. Okay, now we want to go into settings, and we want to go to reading. Okay, so here under settings, reading, is your home page displays your latest post or a static page. We want it to display a static page. What do we want the home page to be? We want it to be home. What do we want the post page to be? We want it to be blog. Okay, and now blog posts show at most 10 posts. yeah, I would keep it as 10, or I'd keep it as like 5 or 6 or whatever. Maybe like 6 is more appropriate. We don't need a massively long blog post page. Like 6 is okay. Each post in each field, we always want to keep it as a summary, and then click on Save Changes. And there we go. Okay, so now let's take a quick look. All right, so now we have a dedicated home page. And so the first thing we want to do is now we want to jump into our menus, and we can add our first menu item, which would be the blog post page. So let's go to Appearance, let's go to Menus, and let's go ahead and click on View All, and let's go ahead and add blog. Okay, so make sure this says blog, and we can go ahead and just delete this one. We don't need that. Okay, and let's click on Save, and let's go back to the site. So click on Blog, and the blog will show all our latest blog posts. It looks great, but how do we create a beautiful, stunning homepage? Let's do that right now. All right, so let's go ahead and add a big, gorgeous image to the homepage. Now, if you go into customize, you're not going to see the option that I'm going to be talking about. That's because you have to jump into your page. Okay, so let's go back into pages, and let's go into our home page. And now we can set a template. And so right down here, you can go where it says template, it says default template. What we want to do is we want to click on cover template. Now we need to add a feature image, and this feature image will be added as the cover template. And so a place where I really like to get templates from, cover images, whatever, is unsplash.com. So I can just type in, we'll just type in earth, and let's go here. That looks beautiful. We'll just go ahead and download this. Okay, so now I've successfully downloaded this image. Now this image is going to be massive. You don't want to upload this image as is. We want to jump into Microsoft Office. We want to click on edit, and we want to resize this. So right now it's 3,500. That is way, way, way too big. We don't need it to be that big. Reason why we want to make it smaller is because if we make it smaller, then it's a smaller file size. Our website will load more quickly. There we go. So I'll leave it just like that. Okay, I'll click on save. I'll go ahead and call this the hero image, because that's typically from a web design terminology what that's kind of called. And so we'll go select feature image, and I'll drag and drop my hero image in. Okay, and then alt text, we'll just leave that blank, and then set feature image. Okay, now we have a cover template. Let's go ahead and click on update. All right, now let's reload it. And voila, so now we have a nice cover image, but what is with these ugly default colors? I don't know. Beige, now this like blood red. So let's just get rid of that. So to get rid of this or change it to something else if you like it for whatever reason, click on customize, and then you go to cover template, and then here, because again, customize, cover template, then overlay background color. Here's where we can basically eliminate this color altogether if we want, or we can change it to something else, okay? Or, you know, I can just completely, or you know, we'll just get rid of it. I don't want anything. All right, let's turn down the opacity. There we go. Okay, and I think that looks lovely. So let's click on publish. Okay, and let's click X. Okay, and so there we go. So now we have a nice fixed background image. Now it says home here. So this is where the first thing in terms of SEO you want to pay attention to. So whatever your site is about, you want to have something that's a little bit keyword specific here. So, you know, if this is like travel the world. You know, for example, if I was creating like a travel site and like my keyword, my site's about travel, my whole point is like this is where you'd like want to have some specific keyword phrase. Okay, let's reload the site. Now we have like something like travel the world. Okay, and then pay attention always to your page title. So again, you can change the page title quickly and easily right down there. So for the home page, I personally would lead off with the site title first and then the keyword phrase. Travel the world with ease. I don't know, whatever. Travel the world with ease, and then write a meta description. again, okay? And that's basically it for in terms of the SEO. So for all your blog posts, you should be keyword first, then the page title, or the page title first, then the name of the site. Homepage is the opposite. So let's just reload that. Okay, so now we have a nice page title where we have the name of the site first, then a description of the site, and then we have a nice little menu in our navigation that says blog, and then our awesome blog posts that are looking good. Okay, so now we have a dedicated homepage, but there's more that we can do to make this even better. Let's take this homepage to the next level. So I want to add some content right here, maybe my latest blog post, maybe an email opt-in form, pages, whatever. And I also want to get rid of all this stuff down here. How do you do it with this theme? Very easy. So the first thing we need to do is navigate back into our plugins, and then we want to go to add new. Okay, now you want to look for a plugin called Stackable. Alright, so Stackable Page Builder Gutenberg blocks. Let's go ahead and install it. What this plugin does is it adds very beautiful feature-rich blocks to our WordPress editor. Go ahead and activate it. Okay, so Stackable is activated. Let's head back over to Pages. And now we want to go to where our front page is. And now we can start editing the content area underneath here. Now, what I would strongly suggest doing is do something where you have like give it a title. Okay, so give it something like, this is the H1 tag, so now give it an H2 tag. So it's like welcome to my travel blog. Okay, and then I'm going to just change this heading, and I'll change this to H2, and I'll click on center. Okay. Then underneath this heading, I would give like a little welcome message. So I'm just going to put in some dummy text. You know, I'm not actually going to sit there and write, but you know, I would definitely recommend that you go ahead and you just like create a welcome message, like welcome to my site. My name is blah 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 blah. I'm a designer. I'm a this or that. Explain what the site is. Explain to people what they can expect to get from the site and why they should visit, why they should subscribe, etc. Okay, so let's just take a quick look. Okay, so now we have a H2 tag, and then we have a nice little paragraph that would introduce what the site is. Now let's add our latest blog post. Now this is why we installed that plugin. So go click on your plus sign. Now with WordPress operates as a block editor and makes designing really easy. So with WordPress you have most used, common blocks, formatting, layout elements, widgets, embeds, all this good stuff, but there's a lot of plugins like Stackable that add additional features. So let's just open up Stackable, and now Stackable has accordion, block quotes, posts, all this good stuff. So we want to add in our latest post, so just click on posts. And now when posts fire up over here, you have layout, you have designs. So let's scroll down there and let's click on free. And now we can see that there are a couple different designs we can use for free. So I'm going to select blog post, this one. And that looks fantastic. Okay, and now we can minimize the design, and we can either change this to a list or we can keep it as basic, but I'm going to keep it just like this. And now there's different things where you can jump into the styles. You can change the column size, you can make the text centered if you want. We can keep going with this down here. We can add a feature image. We can come in here and we can turn off the excerpt if we don't want it to, and we can just have our latest pieces of content right there. Like if you wanted to give this its own title, like we can come in here and just type in latest blog posts, or maybe I wouldn't just capitalize that, latest blog posts. Okay, and so we'll come in here, H2, and let's go ahead and center that. Let's click on update. And let's open up the site again, take a look, see how everything looks. Okay, we got this gorgeous hero image, not called action, but like we got a nice H1 that grabs our attention. Scroll down, introduction, and now we have it set up to show our latest post, and it looks really beautiful. I mean, for a free theme, this looks quite impressive. And now let's just get rid of all this stuff in the footer here. What these are called widgets. So to go into your site, go back to appearance, go into widgets. And under widgets is where you can delete all this extra stuff. So you have footer 1 and footer 2. Okay, so this section, this is footer 1, this is footer 2. And so we can just come in here and delete all this stuff that we don't want or need, okay? And so we'll just go and delete the search function there. We don't need our recent posts. We definitely don't need comments. We absolutely do not want meta. We don't want like a site admin and a login, log out feature. We don't want our categories displayed either there. And we don't really want archives. Okay, and so now everything has been successfully removed. And now it's reloaded again. And that looks good. So now we have little introduction, our latest blog post, and now right down here, this looks quite nice. So how do we remove WordPress? Let's take care of that next. So let's go ahead and click on customize. Okay, so next you want to navigate back into additional CSS. And so what we want to put in is, we want to put in right there. This is .powered-by-WordPress. And then we have the display none, and that will eliminate the powered by WordPress. And there you go. So now we have a nice layout for the home page. We have a gorgeous image here, H1 title for the website, welcome message, latest blog post, and a nice clean footer with not a lot of random links. And we remove powered by WordPress. So now the website is really starting to come together. Now I want to add a logo to my site. Now I'm going to level with you. This theme looks, I think, really nice with just this text logo, and I personally wouldn't add a logo to this. But again, if you want to add a logo, these are some options of what you could do. So first off, to actually literally add the logo, you have to go to customize. And then once customize loads, you have to go to site identity. And then right here where it says select logo, and then you can just upload an image to your logo. Now, how do you get a logo? I recommend two places. Basically, you can go to logo maker, which is LOGO logo, make R with an R, okay, .com, if you really just want to create a quick logo for your website. Or I obviously recommend using something like Fiverr.com, which allows you to basically hire someone to make a logo for you for an affordable price. Okay, so logos, depending on how complicated they are, they can range from anything from like $20 to well over that. But anyways, that's why I'd recommend you pay someone or just do it yourself. So to do it yourself, all right, so here's basically a logo maker tutorial just to keep it quick. So you click on the T right here for text, then I can type in, say, my name, okay, and so that's like the site name, that's the site title. Now, how do I change this text? It's kind of ugly. You can go up here to Railway, and then where it says this, now it has a nice drop down of all these different fonts, and you also have different options of fonts you can change here if you want simple and modern, scary and dark, handwriting, whatever you want to do. So if I was just to keep that simple and modern, and then let's go down here and we'll say, like, I'll just pick a different one here. We'll just something usually that's maybe a little bit bold and big, maybe passion 1. All right, so now we have that. And so how do you change the color? Again, you come over here, and this is where you can change the color. So I'll just select something else. I'm not really sure I like that. We'll do Proxima Nova. Looks like that's already Proxima Nova a little bit. Anyways, that's basically it. And now over here you can type in different graphics that you want. So if I typed in like Earth, for example, what would pop up? We have different things I could quickly and easily add. So if I want to add like an image of the Earth, I could just do that. So add that, you know, and I can create this big or small. So now it's kind of layered on top of this. So I can make this really big if I want. If I want to do something like this, you know, maybe just keep it a little bit simple like that. Keep the logo like that. But again, you got to look at the way this is laid out. So everything's like nice and narrow. So it'd be better just to keep something like a little bit more simple like that a bit, or keep it like in the middle a little bit. So what I could do is I come in here, and then I could just manually edit the text, and then just space, you know, give it some space, and then I could just drag and drop the Earth in there, and we could like make it a little bit smaller. Okay, and then obviously this is going to be, you know, a logo, and then you got to pay attention like to little details. Like on this it's white, but then like when we're on the blog page, for example, now it's black because it matches this. So that's why I like this theme, because it just takes care of this really well and quickly. But anyways, you know, so this is how basically you can make a logo yourself. So you gotta be careful with the colors. You gotta be careful to make sure that you're using color that blends out in well with this, because like this is transparent and you can see this like black space, so it looks really good. We just want to make sure everything works, okay? Because like a black text, you're not gonna be able to see it there. But then if I make this white, then you're not going to see it there. So that's why you just have to be aware of this when you're doing this. That's why I say like I typically don't do the logo aspect for this theme, but that's in general how you'd create a logo. And so to actually download the logo, you click on this little save icon there, and then you go no thanks, download low resolution file, and that is it. And then logo maker downloads, and there you go. So now you have a nice transparent logo that's ready to go. And in a nutshell, that's basically all you have to do. And now one other little thing to take care of is the site icon, which is right here. Now the site icon is basically this little area right there, which is called the favicon. And so to change that is very simple. We just go into like, you know, for example, I'll just go into open with. Okay, and then I'll go to Microsoft Office Picture, and you know, we can just go to edit, and I'll just crop this in, okay, and we'll just take out my entire name, and we'll just leave this earth image right there because it looks really nice. We'll keep this nice and small like that. Perfect. Okay, and then we'll leave it just like that. I'll click yes and save. Awesome. Okay, and now I could select icon, drag and drop this in. Smoosh it does its thing. Okay, and let's go to select, and I'll just, yeah, that looks perfect. Crop image. Okay, and we've successfully added a favicon. So if you ever want to know how to add the favicon to the site, which is this little icon there, you can just go ahead and do it right here. We're under site identity. So again, we just went into site identity, and then you have the logo you can change, which I don't recommend for this theme in particular. And then here is where you just change the icon that appears to the site. Now it's important to do this because it's just one of those hygiene things where if you don't have it, it looks like you didn't pay attention and you're missing a little bit of a detail. And it's also important because as people visit your site and whatnot, you know, it gets saved on, you know, recently visited sites and etc. And the icon will appear, and you want an icon to appear so you can help people associate this icon with your brand. Like with Website Creator Pro, for example, I have like a nice star that appears with this, you know, and then that's the brand, that's the icon for the site there. And so that's, you know, it's just a little detail you want to pay attention to. It takes, you saw how quickly it took. It just took like a few minutes to create something. You know, you don't need to create something as fancy as this, but you want to go ahead and create something that's associated with your brand. But basically, that's it for how to upload a logo, how to change the favicon. Now I want to add an about page and a contact page to my menu bar. So how do you do that? Very easy. So we just want to navigate to pages and go to add new. And now we want to create an about page first. So let's just call it about, A-B-O-U-T. And that is it. And now the about page is never about you personally. It's about the website, why it was started, what gives you the authority to write it, that sort of thing. About pages can be very long and detailed, or they can be very short. And I usually like for the about page for websitecreatorpro.com, for example, it's like I have a little bit of story about my background, who I am, why do I create this site, etc. And then I have helpful guides on the about page, or you can have an email opt-in form. Or you could just go with something really super short and simple. Either one is fine. I would either create something very short and simple, or I would create something with a little bit more depth and link to guides, link to an email opt-in form, etc. Anyways, let's go ahead and click on publish. And also notice that I call it new, new here, question mark, new here, what's this all about? This is the about page, and the URL is /about. So you can call it about, you can call it whatever you want. I would definitely keep the URL though, /about. Now let's go ahead and add a contact page. So we go to add new, click on just add new again. And we're going to go ahead and create a contact page. And so we can call this contact us, or we could just create something like need to get in touch ? There we go. And so let me just go ahead and publish that. And now if we take a look at the URL, it says need to get in touch. I don't like that, so I'm going to click on edit, and let's get rid of that and just call it contact. Keep it simple. Okay, and let's update this. And now let's go ahead and take a quick look. Okay, so now we need to add a couple things here. So I'd add a little bit of a text here and like give people an idea of how you want to be contacted. Like, thank you for visiting, you know, something like that. Thank you for visiting. Keep your message short and to the point. Let's just say like 2 to 3 sentences. 2 to 3 sentences only. Feel free to contact us on our Facebook page. Facebook page too. Whatever, and then you can link to your Facebook page or, you know, whatever. And so we'll go ahead and update that. And now if you're a business or whatever, you can either give a phone number to for people to contact you, call you specifically, or you can give your email address here, or you can add a form to this page. And so let me just make this larger text. Okay, and so let me go here and let me go ahead and add a form. And so a form basically is a field that allows people to quickly and easily contact you. So if we just go to the contact page for Website Creative Pro, boom, we have this nice form here where people can just add their name, email, subject, and message. It makes it very easy for people to send you a message. How do you do that? Again, it's a plugin. So you just go to plugins and let's go to add new. And now what we want to do is go to WP Forms. So search for WP Forms. WP Forms. That's literally what the plugin is called. There it is right here. Let's go ahead and click on install. Now this is my personal favorite plugin for forms. Now click on activate. Okay, so now it gives you this little onboarding process. So you can read the full guide here or create your first form. Let's just go and create our first form. And all we want is a simple contact form. So we'll just click this. That's all we want. We just want a simple contact form. We don't need anything complicated. This is a feature-rich, form builder that you can use for your website. But we just need something simple. So now we want to drag. Now click to edit and drag recorder, so we can basically move this around as we want. Very, very helpful. And then here we can basically change it. So do I want my last name? No, I just want simple. Like I want name, email, comment, message, whatever. And that is fine by me. And so let's go to basically save first off. And then you can go click on embed. And here is the short code for the form. So we can click this, close this. Now let's go back here. Let's go into customize. Oh, not customize, sorry. Let's go into edits. Sorry, edit page. Sorry about that. And now once we're in edit page, you just take the short code that we generated over here when you clicked on embed. So you take this again, and then all you have to do is come down here and then copy paste the short code in. And that is it. And then click on update and view the contact page. Okay, there we go. So now we have a nice little form installed, and we have a little bit of text, and there you go. So feel free to play around with WP Forms, explore in more detail, but this in general what it's going to do. And so when someone emails you through this form, the email that it's going to be sent to when people click submit is basically the email that was associated as the recovery email when you set the whole thing up, when you set your WordPress installation up with Bluehost. So everything will be sent to that specific email. And that's basically it for the contact page and the about page. Now let's add them to our menu. Now we have that squared away. So we go back in here And let me go to appearance and let's go to menus. Okay, so now let's just go to about, and we need to need to get in touch. We'll click add to menu. Okay, and let's click on save menu. All right, now let's open up the site again and take a quick look. And so I like that we have about, I like that we have blog, but I don't want it to say need to get in touch. What the heck? How do I want it just to say contact. So how do I do that? Go here, drop down, then you can manually delete this and change it to something that makes more sense, contact. So keep it something short and sweet, like contact. Okay, now we click on save. Let's reload the site. And there you go. So now we have about, contact, blog. And to change the order of that is very easy. You just click, drag, and drop. And you can also make items sub items. So if I want to have a drop down for like about, or if I want to create like a resources page and then create like a drop down, I can do that. Or I can make, you know, blog, about as a drop down of blog, contact as a drop down about, etc. So I don't want to do that, but just letting you know, it's as simple as just clicking and moving things around. And that is basically it for the menu. So now we're all set. We got about, contact, blog in the menu. We just go ahead and write your about page. You have your contact page basically bare bones set up, but you know, you can explore aspects of that in a little bit more detail, and that is it. Okay, so now it's time to add legal pages to our site, and you do that by adding these pages to the footer. Basically, you want to add a privacy policy, terms of use, and a disclaimer. And if you're going to be promoting with Amazon Associates, you definitely want to be adding in the Amazon Associates disclaimer in the footer, because this is required on any page that has Amazon affiliate links. You have to add this. Anyways, so we just go into our pages, okay? And what you want to do is navigate to pages, and then just create a page and call it privacy policy, create a page, call it terms of use, create a page, call it disclosure. Okay, and then after you create these pages, and then you want to go over to appearance, and then you want to go into menus. Now once you're in menus, you have one menu currently created, which is basically the menu for your navigation. So we want to create a new menu, so we click on this that says create a new menu. And just for organizational purposes, I would just call this something like footer, you know, so just so we know which one this is. And let's go and create menu. All right, so now we can click about, disclosure, and terms of use. Oh, sorry, disclosure, terms of use, privacy policy. There we go. And let's click add menu. And there we go. And now let's click on save menu. So now that we've successfully created a footer menu, one last little step is you have to go to manage locations and where is this going to apply, right? So now we have menu being used as the desktop horizontal menu. Now for the footer menu, we go here and we just select footer. And that's it. Click on save changes. And now let's reload this. Okay, let me reload this. There we go. Okay, so now we have basically disclosure, terms of use, and privacy policy in the footer. And that is it. And so now if you want to have a place where you could go ahead and add maybe this disclaimer, you could just take this. Then what I would do is I would just go to maybe appearance and then go to widgets. And then here you can just add it in there. So I'd maybe just drag this over, click on text, and then I don't want to do that. There we go. And then click on paste, and there you go. And then click on save, and then let's just reload this to see how it looks. Okay, and then there we go. Okay, so now we have basically the disclosure for Amazon. We have basically our legal pages in the footer, and it's looking good. And so that is it. So now we have successfully added the menu. We have a nice home page, and we have a bunch of legal pages in the footer and the appropriate disclosures. Now, I have a page dedicated on Website Creator Pro about how to basically write your legal pages. In a nutshell, yeah, you have to sit down and write your legal pages. You don't need to worry about this if it's a brand new website. But I'm saying, like, when your website starts making money, like when you start making like $1,000 a month from a website, you definitely want to sit down with like an accountant and a lawyer and get this taken care of, because now your website's transitioning from like a little side thing into like a proper business. Anyways, a privacy policy page. The whole point of a privacy policy is to tell users the information gathering process for your website. End of story. Terms of use page is used to describe to people what they're agreeing to when they're using your site and by visiting the site. And if you don't wish them to abide, if they don't wish to abide by how you want them to interact with the site, etc., then tell them how to opt out, which usually involves them just leaving the site and not coming back. And then like a disclosure page is just to make certain any interests that are not obvious that might not otherwise be obvious, like how your website makes money or anything like that, like, you know, affiliate disclosures or disclaimers, like, hey, this was a sponsored post by this company. You have to say that, okay? You can't just, you know, you have to just disclose things like that that are not obvious. And that is basically it. So for the footer, disclaimer, disclosures, all that legal stuff that we need to take care of and throw into the footer. Let's add some email opt-in forms to our website. And so an email opt-in form is just basically a way that we can collect emails to start email marketing. Now, there are tons of providers out there that I recommend. I have other videos on this channel. I recommend either a ConvertKit or MailerLite or a Weber. Those are all good options. Sendinblue's another good option, but this is ConvertKit. And so let's go ahead. And so when you sign up to ConvertKit, you're able to add forms, and you just click this button that says obviously form. Now you have your option to add inline, modal, slide in, sticky. We're going to be using the inline function. And now here I like to go with Mills. We'll add this. And once the form loads, then right here is where we can just edit the way this looks. So I like this background, but I do want to change this button color to something that pops a little bit more, maybe a little bit more of a red color like that. That's a little something just like, you know, just like the right color. There we go. There we go. Okay, I like that. There we go. And so you can just play around with ConvertKit once you're logged in here, but you can basically edit the basically the background of this. You can change the text just by clicking it quick and easy. It's very nice. And so we'll just click on save and okay. And now we go to embed. And now you may be thinking like, wait a second, I go to WordPress, right? Well, you could, but then you have to download and install the ConvertKit WordPress plugin if you want to add forms, or you can just go to basically JavaScript or HTML. I personally like to use JavaScript. And so we can just take this script and there we go. And now within our WordPress, we can go to settings and then we can go to PRYC, add custom content. Okay, and so we installed this to help install breadcrumbs within the blog post, to add this to the blog post. But another cool thing we can do is just, we can add a form right to the bottom of each and every blog post. Okay, so now we just want to scroll down here and it says content bottom, right click and then paste. And now we can go here and click on save changes. Okay, so let's go ahead and check it out to see if the form has been successfully added. And there it is. So now we have a form at the bottom of every single blog post. So there you go. So that's the useful thing about this plugin right here, PRYC, because we can just now all your blog posts will have this added automatically without you needing to go in manually one by one and add it. Now you can absolutely go in one by one and add it. So for example, if I click the edit post and let's say that I just want to add this maybe in the middle of a blog post, you can do that. But to do that, you just have to do it manually. Okay, so maybe it's like, maybe I have some great text here and I'm talking about something, and then a good lead-in would be to just have an email opt-in form. So anyways, you click this little button, and now what you want to look for is HTML. Okay, custom HTML. There you go. And then click on paste, and then preview, and then there you go. Click on update. And let's take a look again. Okay, now we have our email opt-in form added right in the middle. So you can do it manually. You can use a plugin that allows you to add content to like the bottom or top of all blog posts, whatever. And that's basically it for how you add email opt-in forms. And so we use ConvertKit, but there's plenty of other options you can use. But that's it in a nutshell if you want to start engaging in email marketing. Okay, so now I want to go ahead and add some related posts to the bottom of my blog post. So this is basically related content and it's powered by Jetpack. So this is websitecreativepro.com, and Jetpack is a free plugin created by the team behind WordPress. Offers a lot of different features, but the one feature that I really like is this related post feature, because this provides nice internal linking, helps people keep people on your site. So anyways, to get started is very simple. You just go to your WordPress admin, and then you want to go into plugins. And now with most WordPress installations, you do get Jetpack and Akismet as default installations. So let's go ahead and activate Jetpack. Okay, so Jetpack has been activated, and now you have an option called Jetpack in your menu bar, and go ahead and click Set Up Jetpack. Now you may need to create a WordPress account for this. So just go ahead and do that as part of the setup process. My whole point is like your experience will be a little bit different. So now it's telling me to just approve this site. Okay, and then that is it. Jetpack is set up, so it presents you with this payment plan option. We can just completely ignore this. I'll go ahead and reload this. Jetpack is free, but they do have an upsell feature to get you to pay. Again, you're depending on like if you have an account or not, you may be looking at something a little bit different. But anyways, you can kind of just ignore this, and Jetpack is installed and working as expected. Now, to enable related blog posts is very easy. We just want to go into our settings right there. Okay, then you want to click on traffic, and then right here, underneath traffic, you want to come down here and then show related content after blog posts. Then you want to highlight related content with a heading and then show a thumbnail and image, and that's it. And now it's all set. That's it. Okay, so you're good to go. That's all you had to do, and now you should have related posts. Now it may take time to populate because it's based on your site's content. If you have like 3 or 4 posts, don't expect to have related posts. Publish 10, 15 blog posts, then this will start appearing. So don't worry if you don't see it right away. If you only have a few blog posts, it takes a while. It takes you have to have multiple pieces of content for this thing to start working correctly with showing related posts. Now let's add some social share buttons. I try and say that 3 times fast. Social share buttons to our website. So I currently have Facebook, Pinterest, and Reddit. A service that I really like to use is called Add This. Add This is helpful because one, provides analytics on the back end, so you can see what piece of content people are sharing and where, and then gives you a broad overview about how many visitors your website had. So basically, how do we set this up? Easy. We have to go into Tools, and then we want to click on Add New Tool. We want share buttons. Now you can play around with all of these, but the ones we're going to be using is the share button feature. Okay, and then we're going to have floating or inline. I'm going to keep it as floating. Let's click continue. And then we can either have it smart sorting, which basically Add This will show basically the networks that people interact with the most on an individualized level, or you can have selected by you. Really up to you. If you're going to do selected by you, at a minimum, you want to have Facebook and Pinterest. Those are the 2 biggest traffic sources for your website for most people, would be Facebook and Pinterest by far. Maybe Twitter, maybe email. And so I'll just leave all these: Facebook, Pinterest, Twitter, email. Twitter is really only popular in America. I'm not saying it's not as popular, but Facebook and Pinterest are you have to have those. And then you can just click on add more services if there's anything specific that you really want to add. Maybe there's something local to your country, maybe like WhatsApp, for example. If you're European, like WhatsApp's not popular in America, so that's not something we use. Anyways, let's go here. Now under the 3K area, we can have the share counter to show shares when it's shared 20 times. I'll just change it to that. And then left and right, that's fine. And when on mobile, I want the buttons to be small. All right, and that's it. So we'll click on Activate Tool. Activate Tool, there we go. All right, so what do we do next? You have to click this where it says Get the Code, okay? And then right here is our script. So we just take this script again, copy, and now you should know where we have to go. So what we have to do is now we have to install a new plugin because we have to install this in the header or footer. So the thing that we need to do is go to plugins. And we want to go to add new, and we want to install a plugin called headers and footers. So headers and footers is the plugin we want to install. And it's this one right here. So we'll just install that. Okay, great. And let's click on activate. And awesome. So let's go into settings and then go into insert headers and footers. Okay, now we can have script in the header, script in the body, script in the footer. So I'm going to put this share code in the footer. Okay. And then we'll just click on save. And we'll just wait for the site to save. That's awesome. Great. Now let's open up the website and it should appear some social share buttons over here. Yep, we're good to go. So now it's really coming together quite nicely. So that's basically it for how you add social share buttons. Okay, so let's add analytics to our website. So this is Google Analytics. You can find it by just Googling Google Analytics. And when you're logged in, you'll be looking at a screen like this. And so you can measure, you can select different properties to measure. So we're going to be measuring a website. So come down here and click continue. And next you can add your website name. This is for your own internal use. So I'll just call it like my blog for example, and then put in the URL. So the URL from this website is https, and then it's the domain name and then .com. Okay. And in the industry category, so this will compare your website's performance to other websites in this industry. So you don't have to select an industry category if you don't want to. And then click on create. And now once you create, you're going to get some code, and then you can copy and paste this. And now you just take this code and then you go back to your plugin that we just installed previously, headers and footers, and you go install it in the script. Okay, so it specifically says copy and paste this code into the head of every web page you want to track, and that's it. And so boom, paste, and then click on save. And that's it. And so now once you have analytical code installed, then you can head over to Google Search Engine Console. Okay. And what Google Search Engine Console is, it basically allows you to claim ownership of your website, and then you can check the performance of your website on the back end to see how it's actually performing within the Google search engine rankings for different terms and whatnot. It's very, very helpful, but it's not helpful until maybe like 6 months into the future. So it's just something to do now. You don't have to do it now, but it's just something to be aware of, because this, once your website's getting traffic, it'll tell you like, hey, you have this page that's ranking on page 2 for this, and people are finding it via this phrase and things like that. So anyways, that's basically to get set up. It's just you go here, all URLs, and then you just put in your domain name there and click continue. And because you have analytical code already installed, it'll just automatically verify your account. And that is basically it, how you get it set up with analytics in Search Engine Console. And then this is just something, set it, forget it, and then you can come back to Google Analytics and Search Engine Console maybe in a month after you've been publishing content, and then it becomes more helpful long term. But that's basically it for installing analytics. And one last little thing to pay attention to is to make sure that you go ahead and submit a sitemap once you're logged into Search Console. So once you're logged in and your site is verified, you can just head over to Sitemaps, and then here you can enter the URL of your sitemap. Now a sitemap is just basically a map of all the content on the website, and it just helps your content get indexed more quickly and basically be indexed and ranked, and it helps Google understand what your website is about. So it's just a best practice. So anyways, to find the URL of your sitemap, you want to head over to Yoast SEO, and now you want to go into where it says features, and you want to come down here to where it says XML sitemap. Yours should be on by default, so it already has it available. And so to enable the XML sitemaps for Yoast, see the sitemap generate, read why sitemaps are blah blah blah. And so we can just click on this, and this is the sitemap of our website right here, sitemap.index. You would just take this, copy and paste that, and then you would just paste it in there, and then click on submit, and then it'll, then that's it, and then Google will verify it, and that is basically all you have to do to submit a sitemap. And anyways, that is basically it for this tutorial. So we've created a lovely looking homepage. We created a nice little menu, H1 tag, welcome message, added related posts, have our share buttons there, have our like legal pages, Amazon Associates, disclaimer there. We set up the blog post to look really nice. I showed you how to basically structure blog posts, add breadcrumbs, how to make this just have a nice overall appearance. We did about page, contact form, etc. And so I think we're good to go. This is a nice little setup. This website looks beautiful. I think people would come across this website and be like, wow, that looks really nice. That looks really premium. And it's a free theme. You just need to know what you're doing. And so anyways, guys, that's why I like the 2020 theme from WordPress. Alright, that's it for this tutorial video on the 2020 theme from WordPress. If you enjoyed this long form how to make a website with the 2020 theme tutorial video, make sure to hit that like button. Consider subscribing for more videos like this, as I publish content on a weekly basis about various topics related to internet marketing, email lists, making websites, starting blogs, etc. So anyways, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.